don't stop. I'm sure you guys are super excited for this video. I finally got it done. There were so many questions that I was kind of trying to figure out a way to get them done. So I finally came up with this, and this is the top 15 things you need to know before you go natural and even while you're natural. Let's kind of put that on the side. And yeah, so let's go and start talking about number one. Want to know more about natural hair? I mean, I'm not a guru, but at the same time, I've been natural for about 5 years now. So if you want more information, I'll list the link for this book in the description bar below. Number one, your texture is going to be thicker or even looser than what you picture it, and you just kind of have to embrace it. When I went natural, I kind of expected my hair to be like super tightly curled, and like when I brush it out, it springs back. And I even tried to like brush curl my hair. It didn't really work for me. So whatever you get when you go natural, just embrace it, because the truth about it is, that's your hair and you gotta embrace it. That is all. Number two, maintaining length is mostly about protective styling. Keeping your ends tucked in. I can't really show you my bun because my bun is so big that, you know, the bun's just right there, and my hair is protected from the harsh winter weather. The harsh winter weather. Anyway, so yeah, maintaining length is all about protective styling and keeping your ends tucked in, and making sure that you're not over manipulating your hair. Number three. Your edges can grow. They can grow. A lot of people send me messages asking me about edges and like what they need to do to grow. Rub some castor oil on your edges, especially also your back edges too. Back edges. I guess they're edges also. And just keep rubbing castor oil. Honestly, stop doing styles that are gonna pull your edges. Some people's edges are actually more fragile than other people's edges. And for me, my edges are actually pretty strong because I've done so many crazy things to my edges, but they don't come off as usual as like somebody else. So you kind of have to know the way your edges work and refrain from doing styles that pull on. Yes, that is it. Number four, transitioning. If you think about it, transitioning is going from you having relaxed hair to you having natural hair. And you can do it in two different ways. You can either big chop, or you could transition, like you could kind of wait for your hair to grow out, and then keep cutting it until your hair is fully natural. If you want to transition, I suggest that you do curly styles. When I was transitioning, I'll try and find a picture and insert it in this video somewhere. But when I was transitioning, I did a lot of curly styles. I used to put my hair in like the foam rollers and just kind of let it be curly and just put it up. So there's a lot of styles you can do while you're transitioning that kind of helps you break into that like natural hair scene. So number five, breakage. Breakage is like the freaking devil to natural hair girls, but you need to be able to distinguish between breaking and shedding. Is your hair shedding? Does it have like a white bulb on the end of the hair? Like look at the hair in your hand, or look at the hair you've combed out. Do they have little white bulbs? Shedding is normal for natural hair. Breakage, on the other hand, are little short hairs that come out of your hair. Now, to help with breakage, I suggest making sure your hair is well moisturized and making sure that you are protective styling and also not over manipulating your hair. Over manipulation is basically when you do too much. So make sure you're not like over manipulating your hair to a point where you're just combing through it with like different types of combs. You don't really have to use a comb if you don't want to. You can finger detangle. So always remember that there's a difference between breaking and shedding. Number six, this is the most important, honestly, of all the steps you're gonna hear. Most important, listen to your hair. Do not buy a product because somebody else told you to buy a product. Do not buy a product because you saw somebody else work, like it worked magic for somebody else. I can't I cannot categorically tell you that there are products that have worked on my hair that will work on yours. If your hair is telling you it needs moisture by maybe breaking or like it feels brittle, then moisturize. Condition, then put a little oil on it. Or if your hair doesn't like oil, if you've noticed that every time you put your hair oil on your hair, it gets crunchy or it reacts to it, your hair doesn't like oil. You know what I mean? Like, I've started trying to listen to my hair more instead of just going off of what people tell me or what products I hear people talk about. And mostly nowadays, I just use shea butter on my hair. After I wash, deep condition, and everything like that, just put shea butter on it. And that's what my hair likes because I've noticed it does very well with shea butter. None of the other products, really. And even with conditioner, I only use Hello Hydration by Herbal Essence because that's the only conditioner my hair really, really likes. Number 7, little white monsters on your scalp called dandruff. Everybody was like really asking me about this, like, what do you do with dandruff? Honestly, dandruff is a very complicated thing. So I feel like with dandruff, you need to use a shampoo that has tea tree oil in it or a shampoo that is specifically made for dandruff. For example, Selsun Blue, or you could use the Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tinkle, which is awesome. I've heard a lot of good things about that shampoo. So I feel like if you have dandruff and you're suffering from dandruff, you've been suffering from it for such a long time, make sure you're using the right shampoo. Shampoo your hair with a dandruff shampoo for at least a week. Like if you for your dandruff to go away. And make sure you're putting tea tree oil also on your scalp. That really helps with dandruff. So I think that's kind of basically all about dandruff. I think I need to stop saying dandruff. Number 8, hair regimens are very important. A hair regimen is basically what you do on a daily, what you do on a monthly, and what you do weekly. Haha, I missed it out. Daily, weekly, monthly, what you do. I suggest developing a regimen suited to your hair. What does your hair need? Have you noticed your hair gets very, very dry during the week? Well, moisturize a lot more, condition a lot more, especially now being winter. That's what you need. Make sure you're conditioning a lot more and you're putting in moisture that is needed. To develop a hair regimen, I suggest 3 things. Shampoo, if you would like, shampoo or cleanse, condition, deep condition, and optional 4th thing is protein. Number 9, heat damage and damage in general with natural hair can't be grown out. Cut it. Yes, it may seem so upsetting, like, oh my God, I've worked this hard to develop my hair and I'm not just gonna cut it. It's gonna keep breaking off. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna feel bad because at the time where you could have cut it, you didn't. And then your hair is just all throughout damage. So if you have damage, heat damage, chemical damage from dyeing, anything at all, cut it off. It's not necessary. Trust me, your hair will grow so much faster and so much healthier if you just cut it off at the time. Number 10. 10. Trim when necessary. I had to learn that the hard way because at one point my hair stopped growing because I kept cutting off the length. Trim when you see your ends are really bad. Split. The thing about natural hair is that it actually does not have it's not like permed hair where it's like straight and you can see the bad ends. It's more of like it's just in there. And a lot of times you can confuse healthy hair with hair that needs trimming just by thinking, oh, my hair looks straggly, it definitely needs a trim. Numero 11. Numero 11. I'm trying to speak French here. It's not working out. I feel like you need to understand your hair is gonna have different textures. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's totally fine. But you just have to know how to work with the different textures. The back of my hair is super, super wavy for some odd reason. I don't know why. And I know that that part needs less moisture than the rest of my hair, because the rest of my hair is really coarse and thick. I just see a lot of beauty in natural hair for real, and that's really one of the reasons why I went natural. I feel like I lost my numbers. But number 12, dyeing your hair. When you dye your hair, it is very important to moisturize a lot more than you used to, because dyeing your hair, no matter if it's dye without paraben or dye without any harsh chemicals, it is going to change your texture. So you want to make sure you're moisturizing as much as you can. As soon as you dye your hair, deep condition your hair. And most of the time, it would even be necessary for you to leave it on overnight, because dyed hair is different from just regular hair, and you need to take care of your dyed hair a lot more. When I was blonde, I had to put in more moisture than I usually would, because my dyed hair was so dry, and because it was blonde, it was just like really like crisp sometimes. So I had to make sure I was putting in a lot of moisture. I did not bleach my hair, which I do not suggest you bleach your hair unless you're doing it professionally. I didn't bleach my hair, and I just really felt like it still kind of was dry. So let's go on to number 13. Honestly, you can slick your edges. Use a really good edge control or even some gel, and your edges can be on fleek. Because you go natural does not mean that your edges are going to be coarse. Does not at all mean that. It means that your edges are going to be a little more natural, and you just need to learn how to work with that. Take a little toothbrush, take a little edge control, and slick it down. Don't overthink it. Like number 14, heat. OMG. When I went natural, I thought that I could use heat whenever I wanted, and I could use heat as much as I wanted. I went to get a Brazilian blowout one time, and after that one time, my hair got damaged and I couldn't deal with it. Do not put heat on your hair if you do not go to somebody who is skilled in natural hair, because you have to put a heat protectant on. You have to make sure you're not using too much heat, because you will spoil your curl pattern. And that's just basically it. You know, you could blow dry your hair once in a while, but just make sure you could use heat on your hair, but just make sure that when you do, you don't use too much if you only use it in 1 year. You know what I mean? Last time I flat ironed my hair, I think it was in last year, July. It wasn't professionally done. It was just me, and my hair reverted after like a day, because I was in Canada and we went to Niagara Falls, and like the water just kind of like made my hair go back to what it was before. But make sure if you're using heat, you're using heat protectant. Make sure that your hair is being cared for under that heat. So use heat at your discretion. And some people's hair can take heat more than other people's hair. Number 15, the last and final tip, shrinkage. A lot of people do not embrace their shrinkage. A lot of people do not like their shrinkage. And the truth about it is, honestly, with shrinkage, I do whatever I want with my hair. You do what you want when you pop. Okay, let me stop. You could wear your hair stretched. Now, wearing your hair stretched is more of putting it in braids, putting it in twists, and letting it dry, and then taking it out, brushing it out. If you've watched my natural hair bun tutorial, that's basically how I stretch my hair. You could wear your hair stretched if you want, or you could just embrace your shrinkage. There are days where I do want a nice afro, and I'll just let my hair air dry, and then it'll be an afro. Actually, in the next upcoming weeks, I'm really feeling like wearing my afro again, because if you've been following me for a while, you know when I first started this channel, I had shaved the back of my head, and now it's growing in, so now I can kind of get away with my afro again. I miss it so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this really explanatory video. I tried to put in everybody's question in there. I may have even repeated some, honestly, but I wanted to make sure that I was answering most of the questions, or anything that you feel like I didn't really touch on and you want further clarification, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll definitely answer it. Also, I'm really excited to tell you that I now have a recording schedule. Yay! So I'm gonna start recording or releasing videos every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for now. And I might change the schedule a little bit. Have a great week, guys. I freaking love you guys, and yeah, bye. Your texture is going to be thicker or even looser than what you picture it, and you just kind of have to embrace it. When I went natural, I kind of expected my hair to be like super tightly curled, and like when I brush it out, it springs back. And I even tried to